Imagine opening your fridge at midnight and realizing almost nothing inside it would make sense to the people who built your body. A cold can of soda, a slice of pizza in a cardboard box, yogurt sealed in plastic, grapes that may have crossed an ocean before they reached your hand. To you, that is normal food. To your ancestors, it would look like magic or poison. That is the strange part. The body you are using right now was not designed for supermarkets, refrigerators, delivery apps, or snacks that stay fresh for 6 months. It was shaped in a world where food had teeth, shells, thorns, bones, venom, or a chance of killing you. I think this is where the story gets uncomfortable. Before humans were great hunters, before cave paintings, villages, bread, milk farms, or fire, our ancestors were mostly scavengers. Go back roughly 3 million years. On the African savanna, a lion brings down an antelope. It eats first because it can. The soft meat goes first, the organs, the liver, the heart. Then hyenas arrive, laughing and snapping, strong enough to crush ribs and tear through skin. By the time early humans get close, there is no beautiful steak waiting for them. No clean meat, no feast, just bones. But those bones were not useless, they were locked safes. Inside the thick leg bones was marrow, dense, greasy, calorie-rich fat that most animals could smell but could not reach. A hyena could crack plenty of things, but the heaviest thigh bones were difficult even for those jaws. And that is where hands changed everything. Your ancestors picked up stones. They struck bone against rock again, again, again. Then the bone split. And inside was one of the richest foods in the ancient world. Not pretty, not seasoned, not cooked, just grey, slick marrow, scooped out with fingers and eaten raw. To a modern person, that sounds disgusting. To a hungry ancestor, it was survival in liquid form. Contrary to what many people imagine, early human intelligence did not begin in a clean laboratory of thought. It began beside carcasses, with blood on the ground and vultures in the trees. It began when a rock in the hand turned leftovers into energy. And marrow was not the only prize. If a skull could be cracked open, the brain inside offered fat and calories too. In the ancient world, fat was not the enemy. Fat was treasure. Fat meant you could walk longer, think longer, survive another cold night. That is why your body still reacts to rich food like it found gold. Then there were insects, termites, beetles, grubs, pale larvae curled under bark. For many ancient humans, insects were not a dare. They were dinner, easy to collect, packed with protein, and available when larger animals were not. This is the first lesson hidden in the ancient diet. Humans did not survive because we were picky. We survived because we were flexible. And that flexibility came with a price. Your body learned to chase the richest thing available because in that world, passing up calories could mean death. And once humans learned that calories could be hidden inside bones, the next breakthrough changed the entire species. Fire. The oldest widely accepted evidence of controlled fire used by human relatives comes from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, dating to about 1 million years ago. That matters because fire did not just make the night less terrifying. It changed what food could become. A root buried in hot ash became softer, meat over coals became easier to chew, marrow bones dropped near embers released fat faster. Cooking was not just flavor, cooking was chemistry. Raw food makes the body do the hard work. Your teeth grind, your stomach burns, your gut spends hours breaking fibers, proteins, and starches apart. But cooked food arrives already weakened. Heat has done part of the job. This is why I think fire may be the most important kitchen tool ever invented, before kitchens existed. Many researchers believe cooking helped early humans pull more energy from the same amount of food, and energy was everything. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it uses roughly 20% of your resting calories. That is an expensive organ. You do not power it with good intentions. You power it with dense food. So the story of human food is not just the story of eating, it is the story of buying a bigger brain with better calories. And once that brain grew, the menu exploded. By around 300,000 years ago, humans who looked much like us were eating almost anything the landscape offered. Big animals when they could get them. Mammoth, bison, wild horse, reindeer, fish from rivers, shellfish from coasts, eggs stolen from nests, roots pulled from dirt, wild grains, berries, nuts, mushrooms. The ancient diet was not one perfect diet. That is the part modern people often miss. There was no single caveman menu. There was only one rule. Eat what the land gives you before something else does. And few things on earth gave more pleasure than honey. The Hadza, a modern hunter-gatherer group in Tanzania, are often studied because parts of their lifestyle still echo older human patterns. In some seasons, wild honey can make up a major share of their calories. Men climb trees, break into hives, get stung again and again, and still keep going back. Why? Because honey is almost pure energy. To your ancient body, sweetness meant something rare had appeared. It meant fast fuel now and stored fuel later. In a world of hunger, sugar was not a weakness. Sugar was a signal. But here is the dangerous twist. Your body never got the software update. It still treats sweetness like a once-in-a-while gift from the forest. But modern food turned that signal into an industry. Soda, candy, breakfast cereal, sauces, bread, coffee drinks that are basically dessert in a cup. I do not think people crave sugar because they are broken. I think they crave it because their bodies are ancient, and the modern world learned how to press the oldest buttons first. The donut is not a honeycomb, but to the survival system inside you, it is close enough. And that same ancient system did not stop at sugar. It learned to chase meat too. A large animal was not just dinner. It was time. One successful kill could feed a group for days. Every hour not spent digging roots or searching for berries could become something else. Teaching a child, shaping a tool, remembering where the herds moved. This is the part I find most important. Food did not only build human bodies, food built human culture. But the human menu also carried a darker edge. At Gough's Cave in England, archaeologists found human bones from about 14,700 years ago. Some skulls had been carefully shaped into cups. Long bones had been cracked open in ways that suggest marrow was removed. Animal remains were found there too, which means this was not simply starvation. That detail matters, because when humans ate humans, it was not always about calories. Sometimes it seems to have been about meaning, ritual, power, grief, memory. The body was food, but it may also have been a symbol. And then there was rot. Before refrigerators, rot was everywhere. Meat could not always be eaten fresh. It had to be buried, smoked, dried, frozen by winter, hidden in cold streams, or left to change. Sometimes bacteria made food dangerous. Sometimes bacteria made food useful. That is the strange bridge between the ancient world and your kitchen today. Cheese is controlled decay. Yogurt is controlled decay. Sourdough, pickles, soy sauce, beer, wine, all of them are humans learning to negotiate with microbes instead of simply running. So when you look at the modern diet, I do not think the real story is that humans became unnatural. The real story is that we became too good at copying nature's rewards. We took fat and made it endless. We took sugar and made it cheap. We took salt and put it everywhere. We took rare foods and made them available at 11 p.m. under fluorescent light. Your ancestors lived in a world where the problem was getting enough. You live in a world where the problem is knowing when enough has arrived. And that may be the deepest mismatch of all. If you dropped a modern person into the world of 50,000 years ago, many would starve while standing in the middle of food. But if you dropped a person from 50,000 years ago into your kitchen, they might think they had entered the richest place any human had ever seen. Cold sweetness in metal cans, bread made by strangers, milk sealed and safe, fruit from another continent, meat already cut, cleaned, wrapped, and waiting. No chase, no blood, no season, no fear. For millions of years, hunger taught humans what to want. Now abundance must teach us when to stop. So tonight, if you open the fridge when you are not really hungry, pause for 1 second. Do not shame yourself. Just notice the old program running. And if this made you see your cravings differently, share it with someone who thinks willpower is the whole story, because sometimes the thing controlling your appetite is not weakness. It is history.